All right, so once you get the transmission out, your battle is not over yet, because this is not like a regular clutch that you would be simply pulling out and installing it. This one has few things you need. You need a few tools to remove this clutch, and then you need a tool to actually reset this clutch before putting the transmission back in. So you have two actuators, one here and one here. You're going to remove these two actuators out of your way. Then we go in front. You have the C clamp here. You're going to need to remove this guy. Once you remove this, this whole assembly comes off. Then behind here is another clip, which you need a special plier for to spread it open and pull it out. And after you do that, you still have a situation where this clutch's bearing is actually seated on the shaft. So you need to dislodge that bearing. And the only way you can do that is if you have a puller, or you can put a bolt back in here, 2 bolts if you want, or 1 bolt, and then apply your pry bar on each side and pull it out. There's another way to do it if you have some other puller, another way to pull it. The bearing race has to be disconnected from the shaft, otherwise this clutch will still not come out. Once you get that out, then you will be able to see the actual throw bearing and all washers. And then you'll be able to see your forks, fork A and B. You're going to disconnect those. You do need special sockets for those, but you can get away with using just 8mm sockets to open those up as well. But we're not going to use any special tools today. I'm just going to see what I have around to show you if you can do this by using your tools that are standard available to your... I think we still need a 1 tool to remove the center clip. It makes things a lot easier. The tool looks something like this. You're going to need, so you can put it into the washer, lock ring, and open it. So the first thing you want to do is mark these actuators. So I'm just going to mark with 1 dot here and 1 dot here, and then 2 here and 2 here, just to know where to go. Next, I have 7mm socket here. So since we marked these guys, we should be able to comfortably put them out of our way. Just pull them out like that. This is what it looks like. Okay. Now, smart cars transmissions are a lot more easier to work on than this one. If you simply unbolted the housing and hoping to pull this transmission out, don't do it, because you need to remove the starter and these 6 bolts from the flywheel. Next, let's get a pick like this, or a flathead screwdriver. Need 2 hands. There. And just guide it out. That's it. New kit should come with it. So now let's just pull this guy out. Now before I pull this, I want to point something out to you guys. You see this white mark? When you install it back in, you want to line this up. Another thing is you want to move the transmission to a point. I will show you. You can't really see it, but this is the correct place to install the clip. And you see where the clip ended, right? It ended on this hole. And so when you put a new clutch in, you want to make sure this is pointing at 9 o'clock and this pointing at 6 o'clock is where your clip is going to sit back in position like this. And you're going to lock it in. All right. So let's pull this out. We're good. Let's put this clip out. And this plier makes the job so easy. Even though, okay, so this position for this clip doesn't matter. You're not too worried about it. Now, you see the bearing race sitting onto this extra sleeve? Yeah, you are not going to be able to just lift this clutch out of the way. You need to pry this up, and then the clutch will come off. I don't have 2 pry bars, so I used one this tool and one this tool. You have to apply even pressure to it. And once you do even pressure, this should get loose. You see that? Popped out its place. So next you can just grab from here and here and pull this guy out of the way. There you go. So Whew, okay, don't do that. Sorry. Let's inspect a few things here. Now, remember the orientation for these tools. It's washer number 1, which is big one, a small one, and is seated on the bearing side with this bevel housing. Washer number 2 is seated on this part, and get out. Just put your bearing up in one piece. I don't see any part of the bearing being damaged, so since we're not using this bearing, take it out. Now you got your forks, A and B. The B is at the bottom, okay? What you need to do is you're gonna get Torx heads and remove this one and this one with the Torx head. Then you're gonna get 8mm and be able to open these star heads. Make sure it's sitting straight. You don't wanna take any chance getting anything damaged. Perfect. So this fork would not come out until you remove these. For this you need Torx 45, like this guy here. So let's get this out. Now another way you can identify the forks when you put them back together, make sure you don't mess things up or mix them up, is you see the fork A is wider. Fork B is narrower, it's closer to the shaft. So you need to pull this guy out, nice and gentle, everything out. Perfect. Let's take this guy out. Come on, dear. Everything is out, but this one is not really friendly. Sometimes it is stuck. So at this point, inspect your sleeve, make sure it's not damaged. Anyway, if your kit came with it, you're gonna need to open these Torx bolts and get this thing replaced. Another thing you wanna keep an eye on is these little guides right here. Make sure they stay on. If they get they're out with your forks, remove them, put them back in. So this stuff you can vacuum first and then use parts cleaner to clean this up. You want to get everything cleaned up before opening your kit. This is the kit customer brought me. So let's see, what do we have in the first box? First box is your washers and throwout bearings. Big box got our lock rings. We got new forks. Clutch assembly has this sitting in a certain position, and there are no marks on this. You're gonna keep it in that position. Let's get the fork number 2A installed and make sure it seats very where it's supposed to, with how the bolt washers are now straight. Okay, this little raised edge needs to sit over this raised edge on both sides before you start torquing things down. Just like any work, don't tighten all your bolts first bolt all the way down, just because the other one might not line up. So in this one, you tighten just a little at a little bit here, a little bit here, till you can't. And you would notice the washer itself kind of sits on that area just perfect. Now, I don't know if this is original setup or it's an aftermarket setup. Customer bought me these parts. What I would do is I would line these points on both bolts in the same direction. Line them up in the same direction right there. Okay? Do it on both sides, hand tighten and line them up on both sides where they point towards each other, like so. So this one too, where they point towards each other. Next, we are going to reuse the older bolts that came out of these two sections right here. So everything is tightened up. If you have a grease, apply it to these little fork edges because they will be in contact with the throwout bearing. So you want to make sure there's no noise and it has smooth function. Once you've done that, inspect your throwout bearing for mountings. Make sure none of them are damaged. See these sliding points right here? There's one slider here, one slider here. You're gonna line up with these sliding points of the housing. Let's see if we can guide this up. So if you're trying to put the bearing in and it doesn't seat properly, just turn it around until it actually seats down. Because sometimes if you're not in the right position, this is what your bearings will be doing. It wouldn't sit, right? So it wouldn't go down to a seating position. So I'm gonna line it up right here, and boom, it is in position where it needs to be. You can confirm that the bottom fork is seated properly onto the lower throttle bearing. Now, remember these bearings came with 2 washers. We have a big one, and these bevel housing is upwards, seated. And then you have this little one, same way. Make sure the bevel area, raised area is on top. It has a little play, which is expected. Okay, now put a clutch back in. So I just grabbed the clutch from here, drop it in. You can use a socket that does not touch the bearing side, only the metal race side, to push this down. So the clutch the customer brought me did come with the new C-clip. All I'm going to do is just put a socket on it, the big enough socket I have, and tap to make sure the seat's in place. There you go. The ring is locked in place where it's supposed to be, and we're gonna leave it at that, and then let's install now. Another thing you could do is make sure it is seated properly. You see that? It is right where it's supposed to be. Get a screwdriver or something and hammer it or put a pressure from this side to make sure the ring is clamped together. Now this one, remember how I told you guys you need to mark it? So just put it back into where it was marked. Now another thing is when you try to install this and you have a issue lining this up, that means your clutch is not straight, so you have to make sure it is leveled. This will install properly. Let's get a new clip that came with it and install this guy. So to secure our snap clips ends at. Here you go. This snap ring would require you tapping it into place. It would not sit by itself. So if this clip right here is not lining up, it's because you need to tap it into place. So to reset the clutch, I'm using T40, and you can go inside that little bushing and counterclockwise spin it. And you're gonna spin it until you hear a little slippage or reset inside, and then you slowly let it turn back like that, and that will reset your clutch on clutch forks on both sides. You have to do it on this side and this side as well. After you're done, you get your actuator, because we marked them. Just gonna install them back with it. So installation is a little bit easier. All you have to do is line up that bolt and also reach in from the flywheel side and line up the bolt into the flywheel, and then push the transmission forward in, and it sits properly just the way it is as soon as you push it in, as long as the bolts for the flywheel line up. Next, you can put in the second bolt right there and then go underneath and install the rest of them. Once you tighten everything up, you have few plugs here. You got the actuator plug, lower and upper actuator plug. You have speed sensor, and you have that plug right there, 2 plugs down here. You're gonna connect those. There's one here, and then there's one right next to it. There's one down here, the bottom of the transmission. You have 2 plugs for the controller. And then if you took out the throttle body, connect the throttle body plug. You have a ground right here. This is air box that goes down there. Both are connected by 8mm. This right here is going to connect to the battery fuse box here. This is also going to connect to battery fuse box here. Make sure you install this breather tube for the transmission and the shifter cable right there, locked in place. There are 3 bolts on top. You have to connect all 3 bolts for the transmission. There's a ground that's connected to the transmission housing right here. Make sure you connect that. All sending unit plug, actuator plug. This basically wraps up all your electrical connections. And then we're gonna connect the negative part of the battery, slide the battery in. And what I do for safety purposes, find a way to cover this terminal because you don't want to get in contact. And this one slides into the channel, push it down, and it is in place. Right here, you're going to connect the positive for the starter. And this right here, I don't know where it goes, is 10 millimeter. Tighten that and tighten this. After that, we're going to have to, well, I'm going to have to go down and connect all my bottom connectors. I still have not connected all my bottom connections. So this section here is for your airbox. Before we install the airbox, we have to push it down a little bit, and then rest is done by this anchor. Make sure it locks in. Perfect. Then we're going to take these anchor points to anchor the wire successfully. Secure it. Now this plug here is for your master flow, so we are going to use that. After you have tightened all your bolts, we're going to go ahead and so for the battery cover, we're going to slide that little cover back there. This cover, once we do connect terminal, will cover down here, so we're not going to do that right now. If you remember, the airbox is just pushed on. It doesn't have any bolts holding it, so you guide your airbox in and push it back into the fittings. Airbox has one hose right here. This top one goes like this, pushes on and locks in place. This right here is master flow meter plug, and we're just going to connect our air filter like that and put the top cover, close it up. Now for doing this, we have finished the top work. Now I'm just going to go down to the bottom, install the axles, lower ball joint, and then the other side axle and the ball joint. Tighten back up, put my wheels back in, put the fender liner back in, and this wraps up this work. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is what it takes to take out the transmission, install the clutch, and put it back together in your 2016 Ford Focus.